rise again to glory then, soar into the sky. If you stop and see, then you just might believe. We're unstoppable, powerful, enough to beat the odds. If you love me, you will see the flames inside of me.
Out of here, you son of a bitch. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome back to Seduce Me, the Demon War, and if you didn't notice, I left it off on a damn cliffhanger, which you all probably really hate me for, but I don't care, because, you know, you'll love me eventually. You'll get over it. Get over it. You'll be fine. Load, please, thank you. October 3rd. Yes. Good job there, May. Good save. I finally arrived at my room, but as soon as I entered, something wasn't right. I felt something was off just from stepping inside, but there was no one there. Was I just exhausted and imagining things? I cautiously entered, looking around. Nothing seemed to be out of place visually, but my nerves felt on edge. What was happening? Hello? Despite feeling silly speaking to an empty room, I had to see if anything or anyone would respond. Maybe they were hiding. Maybe something was creeping around and would be surprised by my voice. There was no response, but I still didn't feel easy. Something was seriously wrong. Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, save here. Investigate, because we're nosy. Sorry. I shook my fear from my mind and took a breath. This was not something to be scared about, I was sure of it. I walked further into the room, only to hear the door slam shut. I turned around, seeing the door closed, making me panic a bit. Hey! Before I could walk over, however, I felt the energy in the room freeze. What? I looked around, now unsure of what to think. Whatever was here had succeeded in trapping me, so I needed to deal with whatever it was. Baring my teeth and stepping further into the room, I scanned the room for any movement. Who's there? What do you want?
You do not belong here, human.
Oh, God. The voice that replied sent fear rushing through my body. I looked around to try and pin down the direction of the voice, but it seemed to just echo around the room. Who are you? What do you want?
You meddle in things beyond your comprehension. Why must you attempt to toy with destiny?
I remained silent for a moment. This was an angel, speaking in English to me. I didn't know why it was speaking to me now after they had attempted to wipe my memories and haunt me. Still, at least I would be able to learn more as to why. I glared into the room and continued to look around. I'm not toying with anything. James chose to stay with me, and he and I are going to be married.
Raystral's fate has been set. You have no place in it.
Raystral. Sorry. It's still a name that makes me giggle. Oh boy. Oh. Before I could react, I felt myself become enveloped in chains. I looked down to see my entire body wrapped in lines of white and gold chains, squeezing me tightly, and I winced in pain.
Your mind is protected, but the spell will not last. Once it has faded, you will be properly baptized.
Ooh, baptized. That sounded a little scary. No.
What is going on in there?
He sounds more muffled than ever. Oh dear, did somebody put a pillow over his face? James, I'm in here! I stared at the door, hearing James bang against it from the other side. The door was locked from the outside, too. I glared at the door before shutting my eyes and calling out his true name. Rachel! I'm sorry. With a flash of a bright light, James appeared inside the room, shocked but suddenly enraged at seeing me in chains. Before he could rush forward to help me, however, his body was wrapped in chains as well. No!
Ah! What is this?
It's a magic trick. Calm down. It's fine.
You cannot defy your destiny, demon.
My destiny?
I pulled against the chains around me, hoping to somehow break free, despite it being to no avail. I continued to thrash and pull.
Your destiny is to rule this world. You cannot escape it.
Oh boy.
My destiny is of my own making!
Not really.
Your destiny is set in stone.
Stone, destiny, get it there, James, get it, wordplay. The room around us began to glow. I need sunglasses. Began to glow and blind us. We were forced to shut our eyes tightly. Good, it's so bright.
No matter. We will cleanse you both soon enough.
I could feel the change drag me beneath the ground into some sort of space. Cold waves resting against my skin as I was dragged through the void. I could not see. Where was I being taken? I didn't know how long I was out for. I had no way to tell how long I would be unconscious. All I knew was that James and I were in trouble. What was going to happen now that we were that we were prisoners of angels? Nervousness sank into my mind as I could do nothing but float in empty darkness created by angels who had confined me in a cocoon of chains. Slowly, my nerves came back to life and I found myself awakening from the dark. What I didn't expect was to no longer feel chains around me, but a soft, familiar silk beneath me. What the? I rubbed my eyes and slowly opened them to see a familiar gray ceiling. It couldn't be no. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Sitting up, my heart caught in my chest. I was back in my room. I was in the human world. How was this possible? Where was James? I jumped out of my bed and rushed for the door, pulling it open. James? Oh, dear Lord, did they take him away? I called out, but heard no response. I rushed to the lobby and looked around to see it still intact. Well, that's good. The air felt familiar and real. I wasn't imagining this. I couldn't have been. At the same time, I knew that the curse hadn't been lifted. I couldn't have returned to the human world unless I died. Was I dead? I began to panic. What was going on? That was not a sound of pain. I'll tell you that. My heart stopped at the sound of Diana's voice. More so from the moan that somehow reached my ears. I turned to where the sound came from, realizing the direction. The library? I rushed over and quickly pushed the door open, running inside. What I saw made my heart tear instantly in two. They're doing it, aren't they? I don't want to see that! I don't want to see that! On the ground were Diana and James, both in demon form, embracing each other. James had his face buried in Diana's neck as she clawed at his back, arching against him and moaning into the air. This couldn't be real. This wasn't real. Before I could scream, time seemed to freeze, causing the room and the world around me to become still. I looked around, realizing that I could still move, and turned away from the sight.
Do you know why I am showing this to you, human?
Why are you showing it to me in my library? Couldn't it, like, be the bathroom or something? I'm sure there are guest rooms. Fuck you! Fuck you! That's right, Sexto! This was the angel's attempt to prove something. It was sick and twisted. There was no reason to show me this, especially when the one I was marrying was engaging with this woman who had wanted to take him away.
This was the time when Rachel was destined to return to the abyssal planes. Isaiah would have convinced him to go home, and they would have consummated their engagement before returning to take their birthrights.
No.
It is the truth. The only event that stopped it from happening was your voyeurism and intrusion.
My house, bitch! I would not let him go.
Selfish. Humans are all selfish creatures. But that is to be expected when safety is handed to them in a simple matter.
The angel was toying with me, and I despised hearing every word it spoke. I turned back around and focused my attention on James, knowing that this was fake and remembering the real scenario.
You understand the full consequences of your actions.
Yes, I understand! Okay, we've been over this! We've been over this! I regret nothing. I regret a lot. We could have been with, what's that guy? What's that dork's name? Alex? Sam? I don't know. Upon my final word, the room went black and began to reek of blood. I started to... Don't you dare show me the sight of Diana's family! Don't you dare! I started to gag and covered my mouth and nose at the horrid smell. What was happening now? Where did the angel take me? Don't you dare do Son of a bitch. I followed Diana's voice to see a crack of light slowly open, revealing Diana. Her face was painted with worry and concern, but upon opening the door, her expression shifted from concern to absolutely broken shock. From the light of the door, I was able to finally see the room I was in. Blood covered to every surface, gore decorated every inch, and I was standing a couple of feet from the center, where 3 objects laid. Barely coated in blood, at the center were 2 broken adult-sized crowns, and a smaller crown, large enough to barely fit a newborn's head. Diana's eyes darted throughout the room, both in disbelief and utmost horror. She barely forced herself to step into the room, dropping to her knees in front of the items and bringing them to her chest.
No! No!
I hate you. I hate you. My heart broke at the sight of Diana. Tears were streaming down her face as she clutched the crowns against her chest.
Your selfishness cost a kingdom
I know.
of beloved rulers.
I know.
And a daughter, her only family.
I know. Thank you. I hate myself for it. Not myself. I hate this game for it. I hate everything for it. I hate the boys for it. No, I don't hate the boy. I hate me. I hate me. I hate Sexto. That's what I hate. I hate Damien, really. It's all Damien's fault. This is blame it all on Damien. I couldn't say anything. I wanted to fight and shout back that I still didn't regret taking James away, but seeing Diana completely broken silenced any will to speak.
I see that you're beginning to understand.
I've understand from when I started that rant, that one video. What's done is done, you bitch! I can't say what's done is done. That's so heartless. There was nothing I could say. Any desire to fight back was dissolved by Diana's sobs and cries.
However, your choice to defy destiny has done more damage than this.
Oh great, now what? Before my eyes, the room vanished once again and I found myself surrounded by flames. What the?
Burn everything to the ground!
Really want to fix that evil laugh, but don't feel like it tonight. I looked around, trying to find the source of the direction of the voice. This was just an illusion. But the heat of the flames seemed too real to ignore or shake off.
This was the last thing many lives are forced to see before dying in the hands of the madman demon villain.
This is all our fault. Stop it! No! You deserve this! I'm on the angel's side now. What is happening to me? Screw true love. These are people's lives you've murdered. You've taken away. True love means nothing when it comes to a life. Damn it! I gripped my head, shutting my eyes tightly. I didn't want to see anymore. I didn't want to be here any longer. If this was the angel's torture, this was truly unbearable.
Do not see the price of your
I
selfishness.
see!
You are the sole reason why millions of lives have been lost.
I know.
You are the sole reason why an entire world is burning.
You know what? I no longer want to be Sexto. I don't want to be associated with this little group they have here. None of it. I want none of it.
Your love causes death.
I know.
Your love will do nothing but bring you pain and suffering for all of eternity.
Well, now it will.
Every minute you hold on to this false hope is another child dying, another kingdom falling, another battle waged.
This game sucks, okay? This story makes me hate the good guys. see what it's doing? It's making me hate the good guys. That's not what's supposed to happen.
Give him up.
It's too late now. I mean, I've already fucked things up. I might as well keep my constellation prize, huh? All at once, my head became filled with cries and screams of people I didn't know of. Pain from men, women, and children echoed in my mind as I gripped at my head, wanting it to stop. The heat around me was unbearable. I could barely stand it. Here's a chance for all you. Just take a moment. Everybody scroll down to the comment section and say what you feel about this, what's happening right now. How do you feel? Are you with me like, okay, I'm against the good guys now? Or are you on the side like, love rules all? This was for love. Love, this is okay because love. No, absolutely not. You say you're sorry right now. Alright, good. It doesn't affect him. Just making sure. I couldn't take it anymore. I was plagued by visions of us separating. I was warned of why I shouldn't be with James. The more I listened, the more my heart painfully understood. This was beyond my control, and this was something I should have not even interfered with. I had to give up. I fell to my knees, feeling the flames around me fade away and be replaced by a room full of falling feathers. I curved my eyes and sobbed, feeling my heart dying. I loved James, but this was too much. I was only human after all. A warm hand placed itself upon my head, but I felt no strength to look up at who it was.
You are human. You do not belong in this world of darkness. May your sins be cleansed for all of eternity, and may the gates of heaven be opened to you.
Uh-oh, what am I doing? I couldn't listen to him. My soul was fighting me. My mind was spinning. My body wanted desperately to stand. But I couldn't. My heart could no longer take the tragedy this world was taking me on. It needed to stop. I felt warmth envelop my body and a white light take over my mind. I felt my mind slowly dissolve of all my memories. Everything I went through, everything I had done. I think we're getting a bad ending because I'm being a good person. I'm getting a bad ending because I'm a good person, that's why. Gone. Good fucking job, May May. Good fucking job. You have to be selfish to get a good ending. Fine. Fine. I'll be selfish to get a good ending, okay? You good? You good. Don't worry. I'll make sure love conquers all. Love will conquer all and kill people and all that jazz because that's the good answer. Because that's the good answer. I love him because I'm selfish. I hate the good guys in this. I hate the boys. I hate Sexto. Uh-oh. No, this wasn't happening. Well, I wish it did. I needed to get out of here. I shouted to the skies, knowing the angel would hear me. However, I rushed forward through the flames surrounding me, hoping to break free somehow. What I managed to do was run into a brick wall. What I managed to do was break through some sort of glass wall, destroying the world around me. I hate you! You suck! Y'all suck! I felt the floor surrounded by shattered glass, shaking my head. I quickly looked up, recognizing the sight before me, my nightmare. James was bolted to the wall. Well, good. Now you get bolted to the wall too. Damn. With a burnt cross over his chest, he stared wide-eyed at me, uncaring of the bubbling heat dancing over the new scar, as cloaked figures turned their heads towards me. I didn't have to look at the... I didn't have to look at them to know they were angels. From what I knew, they had holy magic that could dispel demon magic, so fighting with any form of magic I knew was not a good idea. However, I was human. I had pure physical form. I quickly jumped back up and squared off, almost as squandered, ready to take on my husband's captors. In an act of supreme rage, James' body began to glow an intense gold color, the light flickering around his body like raging flames.
Enough!
Yeah, become, air quote, heroes. Have fun. Oh, you so scaredy, James. Oh, I'm telling you, you don't have any pants! Within a matter of seconds, light suddenly engulfed the room, blinding everyone in it. I covered my eyes with my arms, trying to block the light to no avail. As it finally faded, I looked up to see James in his demon form with his eyes fully glossed in gold. Whoop-de-fucking-do!
This ends now!
Oh, it already ended with that other ending, which I was very happy about. But apparently... no. I forgot he had guns. The cloaked figures quickly conjured chains in their hands, but not fast enough to avoid James forming a familiar, looking gold pistol in his hand and shooting down his attackers. What shocked me was how they fell. Instead of them falling to the ground as the bullet ripped through the cloaks, the fabric burnt away and the ash vanished into the air as if blown away by wind.
Filthy demon! Your acts shall not go unpunished!
Right?
Send every angel in heaven at me! I will not let you touch her again!
I'm just not impressed at this point. Taking the chance, I rushed over to James and wrapped my arms around him At last, my body felt at ease while holding him as he wrapped his free arm around my waist and held me close. I could feel power radiating off his skin, tickling my nerves. Spoopy, man! Ooh, I'm so scared! I'm so scared of the angel! Oh boy! A large gold pentagram appeared at our feet. A third cloaked being stepped up from the far end of the room, stepping over the glass I had broken through and fallen on James. Oh. James tightened his grip around me and aimed at the figure.
You cannot escape your destiny.
Dun, dun, dun. As it finished, James fired a shot at the angel. The bullet ripped into the dark, but the figure did not die like his companions. James didn't seem to care.
That was your one warning.
We do not fear you.
Damn.
Come after her again, and I will teach you the meaning of fear.
With an angry snarl that reverberated through the room, the cloaked figure bent forward towards us, showing its veiny hands. From its back sprouted 2 large and proud white wings, rippled with hundreds of glorious placed feathers. However, before the angel could lunge for us, we sank into the ground, at last escaping into darkness. James gripped me tightly as I held on to him, guiding me through the void we were in. Into the darkness we both sank. I shut my eyes, scared of where we were going, but knowing that everything was alright now that James was with me. I was safe in his arms. When we finally came out of the dark, we were standing in the middle of the war room, where everyone seemed to have gathered.
Whoa!
I hate everything.
Hey, what the hell?
You all suck.
Oh my god, you're alright.
I love you, Carrie, but damn it. Put some pants on, you son of a bitch. Get over it, May. It's okay now. James and I looked around, seeing the shocked and surprised faces of the rebel leaders and the Incubi brothers and their wives. However, looking to Diana, her face instantly melted from surprised anger. Oh! Well served. Beautifully served. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10, Diana. That was a do it again. Do it again. Thank you. You deserve 3 slaps for that, son. James released me as Diana suddenly marched up at him, James released me as Diana suddenly marched at him, staring at her with a blank expression. The expression stayed as Diana slammed her palm against his cheek, and the sound reverberated through the room. It was a beautiful sound. It was crisp. Like, oh, it was so beautiful.
Hey!
No, Matthew. We can go back to where we slapped you. I don't think you want that. Now, do you, Matthew? Now, we're gonna stay quiet, little boy, and you're gonna let this happen.
Do you both realize how long you have been missing?
No clue.
2 days.
Well, now I do.
Do you realize how many assets we have spent in preparing to find you both?
James' fault. Diana.
Do not apologize. I don't want to hear it.
Yes, ma'am. You can slap me too if you want. This one right in the cheek or the ass. That's fine too. Diana turned and walked back to her spot, crossing her arms and curling her shoulders over herself.
If you two had died, this war would have been for nothing.
What? I frowned, understanding what she meant. Because of us, the war had happened, so we had to take responsibility. However, now was not the time to get angry. Diana, we're back now. That's all that matters. Once again, silence took control of the air before Diana took in a deep breath and let out a sigh, relaxing at last. Almost said at us. The very last thing I wanted was for Diana to explode about this.
Were they angels?
Yeah.
Did you kill them to escape?
I saw 'em.
2 of them.
Diana turned her head and looked at James with a slight surprise.
You realize that killing angels of heaven will put a bounty on your head, correct?
We're just fucking everything up, aren't we? I slightly gulped, remembering the angel swearing to punish James for what he had did. James didn't seem to be fazed as he wrapped an arm around me.
Let them come. I will not let them hurt her again.
You're all fucking idiots! You think love conquers all, but it doesn't, babe! My cheeks warmed a bit as I looked up at James, seeing him smile lovingly at me. I smiled back, seeing the deep and pure emotions he felt for me within his eyes. He'd protect me with all his might, and I would be with him for as long as I could. You're all fucking stupid! At least Diana gets it! Love doesn't conquer all! Love is... I'm so mad. Like, this anchor doesn't go beyond the game. It's all just in the game. It's all just in the game. It's all just the game making me angry. With a sigh, Diana rubbed her temple and turned around, glaring at me and James. We deserved to be in the naughty corner. Her look could kill, but I knew that beneath her anger was relieved. Beneath her anger, she was relieved to see us in a strange way. I could see the amusement behind her hard glare.
Well, now that everyone is accounted for, we are set. We are ready to march on to the Demon Lord's castle and end this once and for all.
Amusement?
Are you two prepared?
You spoiled bitch? The realization of the date hit me. We had been missing for 2 days. Then we were an evening away from heading out to the final battle. Fear quaked in my core for a moment, but my embrace with James shook it away because love conquers all. See, nope, I'm okay.
We leave in the morning?
I'll make a special video of me just ranting about how I hate this.
That's the plan. Get some rest, you two. You both need it.
I'm so selfish. Without letting anyone interfere or interrupt her, Diana turned and left the room. I smiled a bit, knowing that deep in her heart she cared about us. Why? Why? We're the reason your family's dead! The other rebels left as well, most likely going to prepare themselves.
Dude, what's on your chest?
Oh, I sneeze so bad. Dude, it's my tramp stamp. Oh, wait, no. Tramp stamps are on the back above the butt. Sorry. Don't ask how I know that. Sam pointed at the cross on James' chest, making everyone look at it. I bit my lip, but James waved his hands dismissively.
A battle scar, nothing more.
Just a flesh wound, bruh.
A scar that still needs to be examined.
Shut up, Eric. Sorry, baby. Eric walked over along with Damien. Damien, no. If there's anything I hate more, it's you. And both demons began to investigate it. Whoa, will you look at this, Damien? It's a scar.
All right. Love, you can go back to the room if you want. I'll be there shortly.
Stop calling me love. Love is so stupid. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I nodded, feeling sudden exhaustion hit me hard. I yawned and waved to the others before I walked out of the room, making my way toward our bed. Take a deep breath, May. As I left, I searched for Diana. Time had passed, and I knew that now was the moment... What? Oh. That now is the moment to get my deserved answers. You don't deserve anything! Nothing! She doesn't owe you a thing! Maybe she owes you a Pop-Tart, but that's about it! At least I wasn't being followed, so I began to scour the castle trying to find where Diana had gone off to. So I don't know. No, I don't know. Please, don't remind me of stuff I already know. At the sound of Settle clearing his throat, was he following me? I quickly turned around and saw Settle look to me, as if he was waiting for me to turn around and face him. As I did, he nodded his head and gestured to follow him. I did, following him to a new branch of the castle I had not been in before. I was stunned to see such a place, but as I walked on, the air seemed to grow fresher with each step. Eventually, I was led to a door. Settle slowly opened it, and I could only stare at what I had been presented. Whoa. A large forest, obviously hidden and bound by magic, stretched as far as my eyes could see past the doors. As I stepped out, I could feel that I was somehow in another void, some sort of protected place by the castle. In the castle. Yeah. I continued to walk in, taking in the sights around me. The trees were lush and the air was fresh, but as the courtside in the human world. What? Despite the feeling of magic around me, I could tell that this place was an untainted sanctuary. Soon enough, however, I stopped at the sight of Diana kneeling by a large and beautiful pink and purple tree, sorry. She had her head bowed as if she was praying, so I very slowly walked up beside her, wondering what she was doing. The song she was muttering was unfamiliar, but the sight in her hands made me gently gasp in surprise. A small silver crown, barely large enough to fit a newborn's head, rested in her hands as Diana stared down at it lovingly. The way she held it on her palms showed its significance, as if it could break at the smallest movement. After a moment, Diana lowered it to the base of the tree alongside two beautiful gold crowns that looked to be freshly polished and welded. As Diana pulled her hands away, she looked at me with a slight frown.
This was my punishment.
This? Diana turned and nodded and turned her head back to the crowns.
Before I went to the human world, I was a simple princess. I studied every topic of knowledge known to the Abyssal Planes, and trained to one day become a strong and powerful queen. That was all thanks to my mother and father.
My eyes drifted to the crown, realizing the significance. Diana continued.
Months before I was supposed to be wed to James, my mother and father told me that I was going to have a baby sister. I couldn't have been any happier. Every descendant of Lilith is born a single child, but to have a sibling...
Sorry for the sniffles. Small crown caught my attention as Diana let out a shaky sigh, but kept speaking.
I vowed to protect her and my parents, knowing that the wedding would ensure our kingdom's safety. But when I arrived at the Demon Lord's castle, I was told that the wedding was cancelled, and the agreement that kept my kingdom safe was on the verge of dissolving, because my husband and his brothers had run off. My instinct was to run back home, protect my city and my family at all costs. But another urge struck me at the same time.
What do you mean? Dana looked up at the tree leaves, causing me to do the same. On each branch were a plethora of purple fruits that resembled peaches. I was stunned to see so many hidden beneath the leaves of the tree. But Diana's answer caused me to look back at her attentively.
In the kingdom of heaven, there is a city called Yggdrasil. It runs like clockwork, and the spirits that live there are the ones who influence everything that happens in the human world. The weather, the environment, everything.
I stared wide-eyed at Diana. There was a city that was devoted to that? How the hell did that even work? Diana continued, trying to ease my confusion.
There are beings in that city called muses. Powerful beings who have a gift given to them by the ruler of heaven, called suggestion. It gives them the ability to strongly encourage people to do something in their lives, whether it be bad or good. One muse, however, is powerful enough to live outside of the city, and decided to make a very, very strong suggestion to me for the sake of her story.
I tried to take everything in. I expected an answer, but this seemed ridiculous. Muse's suggestions? How was this all possible? Demons were one thing, but having the ability to control people with suggestion? That was way too overpowered to even be real.
This muse needed a proper villain for her story. One who had everything to lose, but no way to try and protect what she had. A stubborn princess who was willing to kill for the sake of her kingdom.
That's messed up. Someone willing enough to kill a human? Dana nodded, silently swallowing her grief.
While my heart told me to return to my kingdom, my mind became obsessed with finding the boys and bringing them home. I begged the Demon Lord to let me find them and bring them back, and he agreed to hold off any invasion until I returned. I dissected the castle, looking through every nook and cranny, trying to find any hints to where they had gone. When I found the remnants of the gate spell your grandfather used to bring them to the human world, my mind suddenly latched on to getting through without a second thought.
Dana looked away from me, lowering her head in shame.
Without thinking it through, I recast the gate spell and used the remainder of that man's life to enter the human world. I didn't realize what I had done until the gate closed and he took his last breath.
You were there when he died.
I was. The gate spell was connected to him, so when I opened it back up, it sent me straight to him and allowed me to use his life energy.
I watched as Diana lifted her hands and stared into them, slightly shaking.
When I realized what I had done, I became racked with grief. I ran as far as I could from his body, changing myself into a human, and simply ran until I couldn't any longer. I had taken away the life of a human, something demons are not allowed to do unless it was to protect the secrets of magic. I feared the angels would hunt me down, but as I rested, I suddenly became filled with unjustified purpose and confidence. I repurposed my disguise to match how I really looked, and found myself on the hunt for the incubi.
All this war was because of a muse? Almost said war.
Muses are dangerous beings, dear. While they cannot completely control you, their suggestions are as powerful as your natural instincts. This muse didn't want her villain to wallow in grief, but to become the perfect enemy for her main character.
The muse is Michaela. Sorry. Me? Dana nodded once more.
A love story that would wreck the 5 worlds. A romance of a human and a demon prince. When the love of a human is said to be impossible to gain, could a simple human have the strength to obtain it with her heart?
Michaela, you that muse? It all made sense. Diana killed my grandfather, who granted me his mansion, where I met the incubi. All the pieces of my past were aligned with Diana being both a victim and a circumstance. The inciting incident of my life and the villain I had to go up against. I stared at my knees, feeling my mind jumble at piecing everything together. My life was written out by someone beyond my control. I started to question everything. Were any of the choices I made in my life my own? Sensing my fear, Diana placed a hand on my shoulder, and I felt her calm my anxiety as I looked up at her. She gave me a sad smile.
Before you think that your life is a lie, know that a muse only has the ability to focus on one individual when making their suggestion. Every choice you made was of your own design, even the part when you told me off.
I looked deep into Diana's eyes, seeing her sincerity and wisdom of the words she spoke. I felt relieved that I was in control of my life, but I had to have the story laid out for me. But to have the story laid out for me was something I wasn't prepared to completely take in. Maybe it was better to be ignorant. I shook my head, attempted to change the subject. That doesn't explain what the copycat was. Diana chuckled and moved to sit on her hip, looking to me with her hand on her lap.
Well, I am a very powerful succubus, as you well know. I couldn't just let a muse completely use me. So after I stole your energy that night, before I returned home, I forced the suggestion out of my soul, hoping to be rid of it forever. Unfortunately, when I returned and found my kingdom in flames, my grief resurrected it, and it became a permanent part of me, haunting me and reminding me of what I could have been. A ruthless, cruel temptress that could have killed another human to get her way. It forced me to believe that everything was my fault, and in a way, it was. I wasn't strong enough to stop the suggestion from taking over. It became the source of my madness, controllable at first, but fueled by each fight I fought with the Demon Lord.
It made sense. If Diana herself had madness, then fighting the Demon Lord made it worse. That's why it became powerful enough to become its own being. What if it consumed her? I shivered at the idea of the cruel Diana returning, making Diana giggle a bit.
Don't worry, dear. That copycat is no longer here. I don't think I can ever revert back to who I was. But I promise that the woman who destroyed your grandfather's life is gone.
What are you gonna do now? After another soft chuckle, Diana looked at the magic sky beyond the tree line.
I think I'll save this world and help it grow for as long as I can. It's what my family would have wanted.
What about what you want? Diana's happiness was important as well. Now that she was free of her guilt and obligation, she could choose her life. Diana looked at her feet and shook her head.
What I want does not matter. It never has. What is important is this world and its safety.
For once, I was able to understand what the copycat meant by her having a golden heart. I felt a little envious at and a little pity for her. Hopefully she would be truly happy just helping the demon world without expecting anything in return. I left her by her tree to prepare for the morning. We needed to rest, and Diana wanted to be alone with her family one last time before the siege.
Hey.
What is it?
Keep everything that happened between us. I'm asking sincerely.
With a nod, I smiled and made a silent promise to keep quiet. With that, I returned to my room. Just give me a moment to, hold on a second. Alrighty, I'm good. Now let's take a moment to save. And go to the main menu. Let's talk for a moment. If you don't want to hear my tiny little rant, you may leave. I'll see you in the next episode. But if you want to stay and hear my little rant, then please, I would very much like you to stay and enjoy this. Me freaking out over what I had just read. Now, we had just been through all that shit with the angels, saying it's my fault that Diana's family's dead, and it is. It's my fault. But that moment right there was trying to make the game feel... The game was trying to make me, as the player, feel sorry for the main character, which is Sexto. Everything is backwards here. It's making it like Sexto is the main victim here when Sexto is the person who caused all this, pretty much. Not only Sexto is the person who caused this, but the boys caused this as well. It all just jumbles up into one giant mess of people causing this to happen. Causing Diana's family to die. Causing Diana to hold that little baby crown in her hand. and mourn over her unborn sister. What Diana did to Sexto's grandfather does not even compete or compare to what Sexto and the boys did to her family. Now, I understand that if Diana had married James, James would become the next Demon Lord, maybe overcome with madness or something, but there is always somebody there who would have stopped that. There's always a hero, and the hero should not have been Sexto. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. I don't think love is the thing that should supersede all. I don't think love is the first thing that should happen. The first thing that should happen is people's lives. That's what should happen. Anyway, I think I'm done for my rant for now, until I make a little video after I'm done with Seduce Me. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for the people who stayed to listen to my little rant, and people who didn't stay, screw you. And I love you either way. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.